What is going on, guys? Corrosive Bullet here, and we're back with more Dragon Ball Legends. It's been a while since I uploaded a video here on YouTube for Dragon Ball Legends. It's just been chaotic. Life's been chaotic. I did a post up on YouTube earlier talking about all that stuff, but either way, the Ginyu Force is in the game. It's been about well over 2 years since the EX Ginyu Force units came. And Jandre, thank you for the follow. Here, let me do this. We're gonna restart this. Hold on. Jandre, thank you for the follow. Doing an impromptu YouTube video, so apologies to anybody else that follows. I will make sure to cover anybody who follows in the main time, but alert's off. All right, it's off, so they shouldn't come through. Jandre, again, thank you for the follow. Let's try that again. That was a rough start. It's been a long time since I did this, so. Okay. What is going on, guys? Corrosive Bullet here, and we are back from a long hiatus with another Dragon Ball Legends video. The Ginyu Force is in the game. It's been well over 2 years or so since the EX units came out, and honestly, well deserved. Every time that there were Ginyu Force units that came out, like, they were always like really strong right off the bat, and that's mainly due to the fact that they don't usually get representation often enough. So when they release these units, they have to make them pretty good. I've already messed around with the units a little bit. I've already done my summons. And you'll see the highlights in the video go up for that later. We did that over on twitch.tv/corrosivebullet. You guys want to see us do more summons and PvP in the future, we'll be doing them over there. Maybe occasionally on YouTube here. But either way, we're going to go over the units here. We're going to start with Recoome and Guldo. So for Recoome, he's yellow. And when he switches, he goes over to Guldo, who is green. They did a really cool thing where they kind of made their colors based off of their signature colors, which is kind of neat. Whether or not that works out well for them or not, we'll have to see. But it's still pretty cool. Yellow to green, I think, is a decent. It's a decent split between the two. Yellow is able to counter the purple that Guldo is weak to, and it's like, I think it's a decent split personally. So anyway, Frieza Force, Ginyu Force, Frieza Saga Z. These are basically their only tags. They don't really have much in the tags, and that's per the norm with Ginyu Force unit. So main ability for Recoome. I'm going to show you what happens when you embarrass me. Tag switch to Guldo. Switch own elements to element green. Draw a Blast Arts card next. Restores own health by 10% and by 30. 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. And randomly destroys one enemy card. Are they doing enough? Just off of this, like, just based off the main ability itself. Like, that's a lot that's going on. Like, you're getting an extra card in your hand. You're restoring your own health. You're getting damage inflicted for the Guldo once you switch in. You're destroying one enemy card with some minor disruption. It's going to be... It's pretty good, all things considered. So then we go down to his first unique ability. Perfect combination. Applies the following effects to allies if there is a Ginyu Force or Frieza Saga Z battle member other than this character in the party when battle starts. Non-cancelable, 15% to damage inflicted and 30% to key recovery. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts or when this character enters the battlefield via tag switch. More non-cancelable buffs. He gets 80% on top of the 15%. He gets 50% to strike damage inflicted, reduces damage received by 70%. So he's still just very similar to his EX counterpart. He is still, I guess, technically the tank of the group, which is pretty good. Minus 10 to strike arts and 20% to health restoration. This all resets when you go back to Guldo. But we're still not done with this first passive. We're still not done. The following effects occurs when he enters the battlefield. He restores his own ki by 30, nullifies unfavorable element factors for 5 timer counts 4 times, So 4 switch-ins. He seals enemy special arts, and they can't be used for 5 counts. And then the following effects to self every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while he's on the battlefield. Restores health by 2%, plus an additional 3% up to 5 times. Activation count resets when a tag switch is... Oh, so this is basically permanent anyway. It just resets every time. Activation count reset. Okay, so essentially, every time he gets hit, so you get in like a Vegito Blue combo, for example, and he gets 5 hits in. So that's 15% plus 2% added on top of that. So you're talking 10% off this, then you're talking 15% off this. His first ability is nuts. There's a lot going on here. Just off his first unique ability, like he's already got 80, 95 for strike damage specifically. He's already at 145% damage inflicted with a 70% damage reduction on top of it. And then on top of that, the 20% health restoration with this on heal. Like there's just so much going on just in this first bit here. Right, it's pretty crazy. Duo of power and skill. So knock back enemy to long range if a cover change is performed against their strike attacks, and it's comboable with the special move. So on strike arts, cover change, following effects to self every time this character uses a strike, blast, or special move art. 15% damage inflicted for 5 counts. 30% to critical rate for 3 timer counts. Applies attribute upgrades minus 15% to for 3 counts. Critical rate I don't think is the craziest thing for this unit. It's not like their team is not like a Super Saiyan Bardock situation, right? Where you can just throw a bunch of characters on this team to kind of boost that critical rate, and you'll just get crits all the time. It's not like that. He's really only giving himself crits, at least for now, until we see what the other 2 characters do. But critical rate's not the craziest thing. 5 timer counts of additional 15% damage inflicted is pretty good on top of the 145 that he already gets on strike. It's not bad. Obviously, debuffing him for damage cuts for 3 counts isn't the worst thing. The following effects also occur every time this character uses a strike arts card. 15% of damage inflicted for 5 counts. Shorten ally sub counts by 2. And activate counts reset when tag switch is performed. The following effects occur upon landing a strike arts hit. Restores own health by 3% and ki by 5. Inflict all enemies with minus 15 recovery for 10 counts. And then to add on top of that, the following effects occur when enemy activates an ultimate, Awakened, or Rising Rush if there are 2 Ginyu Force battle members other than the character in the party. Shorten ally sub count by 5. Inflicts enemies with the attribute downgrade minus 40% to ultimate and Awakened Arts power for 3. Okay, so I mean, this is good. Considering that he already has a lot of health restoration, this is actually pretty good. Being able to land hits and get more health regen is decent. This isn't the craziest ability. I like that it works with Rising Rush, but it doesn't do anything to hinder the Rising Rush. So preferably you'd want this to kind of go off on an Ultimate or an Awakened Arts instead of Rising Rush. But depending on what his defense looks like and whatnot, this could easily be... He could be a really good tank against the Rising Rush itself, so... We'll have to see. Max stars, he gets 35% to tag Ginyu Force, Frieza Saga, or Frieza Force, Strike and Blast defense. And then he gets Strike Attack for units that have Frieza Saga. So, Blast Armor on a Strike. His green card gives him, allows him to draw a Strike Arts card, restores own health by 10%, ki plus by 50, 20% of damage inflicted for 15 counts, then reduces enemy ki by 50. And then his special card is 20% of damage inflicted for 15, 20% of special move damage inflicted for 30 timer counts. Destroys all of your cards and randomly draw 3 new ones. I always like these effects because you could have a very poor hand. You could have 3 of these blue cards, and as you know, blue cards usually aren't stackable. You can't do one blue after the other and have them all land. So you could have a bad hand, and this can easily just set you up for the next one. Raccoon is good. I think Raccoon is pretty good. All things considered. I'm kind of missing. No, not really. Let's go over here to Guldo. Let's just see what he does here. So obviously this is a thing. We don't need to worry about that. He draws a Strike Arts card, restores his own health by 10%, ki by 30, 20%. Okay, it's the same thing essentially as Raccoon there. And here, 50% here. Guldo still keeps the tanking abilities, which is decent. 70% reduction. Minus 15 to blast arts instead of strike arts. 60% to keep recovery. Okay. Yep, that's still the same. That's still the same. That's still the same. Every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while on the battlefield, reduces enemy ki by 10, minus 50 to ki or minus 50 ki is actually pretty detrimental. Kind of forces your opponent to not go through a combo and not just pop card after card after card. That can hurt them quite a bit. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 10 special move, ultimate or awaken arts for 10 counts. That's not bad either. Power duo and skills, that's the same. That counts. This character, okay, so that's a little different. 2 sub counts isn't the craziest, but if you're trying to go in for a Rising Rush, that might be enough to kind of get that done. Restores own ki by 5 every time he lands a hit. That's not as good in my opinion as the Raccoon with the health regen, but this is still decent. Flicks all enemies with attribute downgrade minus health restoration, minus 15% recovery. Again, disruption's pretty good. And this is crazy. So 35% to all the same tags, both defenses again. Oh, that doesn't change, does it? That doesn't change. 15% chance to inflict paralyze on hit. That's not bad. Paralysis is can be pretty nasty at times. Green card, draw a blast arts card, restores own health by 10%. 50, 20% damage inflicted, enemy by 50 on a green card. That's a lot. That's heavy. And then paralysis attack. It's the same thing as Ginyu. So, okay, Raccoon and Guldo are pretty good. I can see the utility of them being the tanks that they are. Guldo providing more disruption than anything else, but I mean the health restoration on Raccoon is actually really good. We'll have to see. Playing around with them, they were actually doing pretty decent in terms of tanking. I would probably say that the disruption's not as noticeable as his tanking abilities, but that's just off the little bit that I've seen. I could be wrong there. So, but let me know what you guys think of the Raccoon and Guldo. Next is Jason Birder. Jason Birder, from what I've played with them, are very offensive. Dice has this thing where he is able to switch to Birder almost instantaneously after landing your first attack. We'll see if that actually has bearing in a hit here, just as an extra confirmation, but let's take a look and see though. So again, matching the colors to their signature colors, which is nice. So hey Jace. So switch to Birder. Restores own health by 10%, ki by 30, 20% damage inflicted. Restores own vanishing gauge by 70%. So if you're able to land like 1 or 2 hits with this guy and switch, you can get this pretty much back if you've already wasted a vanishing, you know? So that's not bad. Combination of red and blue. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. 90% to damage inflicted. Reduces damage received by 65%. So they're not as tanky, but they still do some tanking. Like 65% damage inflicted, non-cancelable, is actually not bad. And there's no like time gate to it either. So that's pretty good. The fact that both of these tag units have damage reduction is nuts. -10 to blast arts cost. Increases switch gauge by 80%. So that's what I figured. Yeah, you get one, you land one attack essentially, which sets you up to about 25%, 20%. Like you can instantly switch. So that's really nuts. Also applies the following effects to allies if there's a Ginyu Force Frieza saga other than this character in the party. 15% to damage inflicted, 30% recovery. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield and enters the battlefield via tag switch. Restores own ki by 30, 30% to damage inflicted, 30% to blast damage inflicted for 15 counts. Nullifies enemy special actions when changing cover. So it nullifies cover change for 10 timer counts one time. Reduces enemy ki by 30 and inflicts enemy with +10 to damage received counts. So alright, let's look at the rest of this before I say what I was going to say. After an enemy attack is over, restore own health by 15% up to 3 times. So 45 health is pretty good. 20% to damage inflicted for 50 counts. 20% special move damage inflicted for timer counts. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade -1 arts card draw speed for 5 timer counts. So, in terms of damage, you got 20% here for 15 counts. 90% non-cancelable, so 105. Another 15%, so 120. And then so 120, then 150. And if it's strictly blast damage, it's 180. And it's all within 15 counts, which is nice too. Well, I guess technically this 20% actually goes over to Birder, so I mean, they're gonna put out damage numbers. These guys put out damage numbers, and just as I kind of saw from the time that I used them earlier on stream today, yeah, they do hit pretty hard. So this is actually pretty. These guys are built pretty well, in my opinion. Second ability occurs when changing cover. Draw a special arts card next. Randomly destroys one enemy card, -30 to health restoration on all enemies, and knock back enemy if cover change is performed against arts attack. So both of these characters have cover changes against strikes. Special move arts is comboable. The following effects occur to the number of times this character's strike or blast arts have hit. 30% to own damage inflicted for 15 counts at one time. Draw special move cards next twice. Inflicts enemies with attribute downgrade +10% to damage for 10 counts. That's not bad either. Hit recounts set when characters switch or 10. Okay. Then the following effects is the exact same as Raccoon and Guldo. Okay. Z tag ability. 35% to both attack, and then free 18% to blast defense. That's pretty good, honestly. I see a lot more, at least recently, I feel like I've been seeing a lot more defensive than offensive. I don't think you see much double attack often. And anyone in the comments can correct me on that, but I feel like that is the case. So nothing on strike, 5% to own health restoration for 50 counts. That's nothing too crazy. Green card, draws a blast card, restores own health by 10, ki by 50, cancels own attribute downgrades 20%, inflicted by allies for 50. That's not crazy. It's pretty decent. It's a decent card. Pressure ball, 30% to special move damage inflicted for 3 counts. And on hit, charges own switch gauge by 60%. Inflicts enemy attribute -1 to a card draw speed for 15 counts. This is pretty good. Increasing your own switch gauge when he's already got like a crazy 80% switch, like it's just that's crazy to me. Ideally, you want to be switching over to Birder as much as possible when Jace is out. But let's look at Birder. My favorite of the Ginyu Force members, FYI. All right, so he nullifies cover change. Yeah, so yeah, just no. So instead of Vanish Engage, he nullifies cover changes for 10 count. Not crazy. I like the Vanish Engage more than this, but following effects occur. Increase art draw speed by 1 for 15 counts is pretty good. Enemy key by 30, minus 30 to keep recovery for 15 counts, and then with over, that's still the same. Okay. Shocking speed. Yeah, so all this is more or less the same. This is where we kind of deviate. So draw a special arts card next. Randomly draws when changing cover. Special arts card next. Randomly destroy 1 card. Reduce the Dragon Balls by 1 once. And then knocks them back on strike attack. We already knew that. When you perform a vanishing step, increases own arch draw speed by 1 for 5 counts. So double draw speed. Pretty good. Restores own vanish engage by 70%. That resets when a tag switch is performed. That's good. Nullifies enemy action that activate when changing cover for 5 counts, and then shorten ally sub count by 2. And then this is not different. See what the rest of him does. -5 to own special move arts cost for 15 timer counts. That's a little bit better than Jace's, I think. Yeah, I think that's better because obviously Jace has the tag switch restoration or tag switch gauge. So on his special move, so if you get a couple of these off before you switch, that could easily help with you landing that. So that's actually not bad at all. Draw a card, blast arts card next. Or own health by 10. Yep. That's about the same. Purple Comet Crush. Explode damage. Okay. 30% to special move damage inflicted for 3 counts. Charger zone gauge by 60. Alright, so he has that too. Minus 50% to key recovery. These guys are good. These guys, I think, are a bit better than the Raccoon and Guldo. Only because I'm personally like more offensive units in this game than defensive. And that's not to write home about what Raccoon and Guldo are able to do, but Jason Birder, I think, are easily better. They're definitely better. Now let's go to Ginyu. I've been seeing a lot of negativity about Ginyu online. It's actually kind of nuts. After messing with Ginyu for a little bit on stream earlier today, I think Ginyu is better than people give him credit for. Whether he's better than Jason Birder is yet to be seen, but I definitely think he's a lot better. So let's look at what he does. So, Palm Judgment randomly destroys one of your own cards and draws a special move arts card next. Restores own key by 50. Cannot be canceled. 20% to own revival chance and 15% to damage inflicted. So this is one of the. So we're gonna get into this, but this is one of the things that people were saying is like, oh, well, his revival is like a percentage chance. Like it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you'll get the revival. Therefore, it's a nerf. And it's like it's really not that hard to get his percentage chance up. Like right here, just off your main, after 10 counts, you get 20% on top of the 30% chance he already has. So then he reduces enemy key by 70% if revival fails. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. 90% to damage inflicted. He also gets 65% damage reduction. All of these units have damage reduction, and it's crazy. Like, just permanent damage reduction. They don't take a lot of damage. Like, 65% on this and Birder and Jice, and then 70% on Raccoon and Guldo. It's just crazy. He gets permanent card draw speed and 50% to key recovery. Just right off the bat. Also applies the following effects to self per tag Ginyu Force and Frieza Saga member. 20% to damage inflicted, 20% to key recovery, 10% to revival chance. So if you're running the team he's supposed to be on, which is Ginyu Force, he's going to have 70% just right off the bat. Within the first 10 counts of the match, he's at 70%. And that's not to take into account everything else that can help him get to that point. And then shorten sub count by 1 permanently is also pretty good. That's nuts. Applies the following effects to self when this character uses a Striker Blast. Restores health by 3% and by 5. 15% to damage inflicted for 10 counts. This is the one thing that I noticed. I was noticing when I was using this Ginyu that for the way that I have my, now obviously this is all dependent on health, it's all dependent on who's on your bench, it's dependent on who is, or what equipment you're using. But for me, every time I used a Blast Arts, I was getting about 70,000 health back. And every time I was using a Strike, I was getting about 30,000 back. So if you're able to get 6-7 cards off, right off the bat, you're already close to getting almost 500,000 like off of your combo, and then you just switch in and out. Like, he heals a lot when he's fighting. Like, he does a lot. Is this ideal for when you want to revive? Maybe not, but the fact that he's able to heal as much as he does, I think, is pretty crazy. And just off of this first ability alone, like I said, within the first 10 counts, you're already talking 70% chance to revive. So, like, we're not even done with his kit yet. So, Subordinate's Trust knocks enemy back to long range if a cover change is performed against the Strike Arts attack. Comboable with special moves. So he does have a cover change. They all have cover changes on Strike Arts. I saw some people saying that he doesn't have a cover change when he does. Unless there's some bug in the game for him. And that he's going to get buffed later, but they're all supposed to have cover changes. So, Strike Arts attack is specifically for all these units. The following effects occur when he performs a Vanish Step. Randomly destroys one of your own cards and draws a Special Arts card next. Stores own key by 30. 15% chance to own Revival Chance. Cannot be canceled. Then shorten sub count by 2. So once again, now you're at 85% if you Vanish Step within the first 10 counts. Like, you're already 85%. Like, I don't think reviving with this guy is as hard as people are making it out to be. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Restores ki by 20. 50% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. An additional 30% to revival chance per defeated battle member. I thought, when I saw this, I thought that this was a very interesting concept. So if you keep this guy around and make him your last man standing unit, you can instantly revive to 100% with this, essentially. So I like the idea of a revival last man standing unit. It's different from how these units operate. So I think it's different. I kind of like it personally. As long as you're willing to keep this guy hidden while still using him, like, I would say maybe your best bet would be to start with Ginyu to get his abilities off early, and just switch him in and out as you kind of go about in the fight. But this guy's like, this is a lot. There's a lot going on with it. Applies the following effects to self according to the number of timer counts elapsed from battle start. 20 counts, 50% to key recovery, Restore own health by 20%, 40 counts. There's that health restoration again. And then a permanent card draw speed. So this guy can have triple card draw speed. Or wait, is it triple card draw speed? Or is it double? It's double. Okay. He can have double card draw speed within 60 counts. Now, the odds of you seeing this might be relatively slim, but I think overall this isn't bad. Again, if you're using this guy as a last man standing unit and you're using him strictly as a last man standing unit, which I believe you want him to be, and that this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, so you can let me know in the comments below if that's the case. In my opinion, looking at his kit, this guy is designed to be last man standing. You are not meant to use this guy early fight, mid fight. This guy is late fight. He's got a lot of late fight potential, and we haven't even looked at his awakened state yet, or his revived state. So far he's really good. I think he's very undervalued. I think a lot of people are looking at him and they think that he's not all that great, but I think people are going to be wrong. We'll see what happens when he comes off the boost, the boost here, but overall, I think he's pretty solid so far. 35% to strike, attack, and defense, and then blast attack 18%. I still think the Birder and Jice have the better Z ability, but that's just me. Green card, fighting pose. Randomly draw one new card, restore own ki by 50, 30% to strike damage for 20 counts, 10% to revival chance, can't be canceled, and this is stackable. If you get multiple green cards off on this, like that stacks up pretty quick. And from the amount of time that I've used him, 10% revival. There were times where like I would be attacking and I was getting my card draw speed in, and I kept getting green cards. So like there was one time where I was playing PvE, mind you, but there was one time where within like the first 10 counts that I was using him, like he gave me 3 green cards right off the bat. So that's already 30% right there. Reduces enemy ki by 50, and then +2 to sub count for 15 count. This is a pretty decent green card. It's really good. Drawing a card, key restoration, or gaining ki is good. This is good. Reducing enemy ki is good. Like, it's doing a lot. It's not the greatest green card I've seen, but this is pretty good. And then Cyclone, or Shire. I think I said that right. 10% to own revival chance on hit. Obscures all enemy cards for 5 turns. That's pretty crazy. And then all cards are turned face down for the effect duration. Shuffled. That's pretty good. And then blast armor on his blue card. So yeah, he doesn't have blast armor on his standard, which kind of sucks. But on a blue card, that can be pretty helpful. All right, let's look at his revive. I don't know if he changes much. Numbers don't look like they change much. He gets an additional card. Okay, so draws special arts, restores his ki by 50, 20% to damage inflicted, increases own card draw speed by 20, and then cancels downgrades. On revival, he gets 50% to damage inflicted, -5 to strike, and -10 to blast. When he enters the battlefield, randomly draws 1 new card. When you have 3 or fewer, restores ki by 30, 50% to special move arts, damage inflicted. Following effects occur when this character uses a strike or blast. Restores own ki by 5, 15% to damage inflicted, randomly destroys 1 card. He's already doing a lot. Like, he's doing a lot. And then Unparalleled Captain. Strike cover change. When the enemy switches characters while he's on the battlefield, 30% restores ki by 30, restores Vantage Gauge up 5 times by 50%. That's pretty crazy. And then reduces enemy ki by 30. I think this part, you're not gonna, just kind of like in his the 60 timer counts elapsed. I don't think you're gonna see this often, but the fact that he can still do this. Bear, what are you doing? Sorry, my dog is hanging out with me. And then this doesn't really change. So, and then on his Awakened Green card, randomly draws 1 card, restores own ki by 50. Inflicts all enemies with plus 30 damage received, -1 art draw speed, and 100% to health restoration for 10 counts. And then destroys all cards on hit for Milky Cat. No, I think Ginyu's good. I cannot say if he's better than Jace or Birder. I can't even tell if Jace and Birder are better than this Ginyu. It's really hard to say. But I think where he stands on the team, I think he is definitely worthwhile to run. And he's definitely undervalued, in my opinion. He's definitely undervalued. So yeah. But that's going to do it for this. This is the breakdown for the Ginyu Force. I'm very excited that they're here. They are all really good. We'll see what they all look like after they leave the boost system, but I think they're pretty good. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button, hit a like on the video. Let me know in the comments, did you guys summon for the Ginyu Force? Did you guys enjoy using them? Let me know down in the comments below, but I will see you guys potentially in the next video. Peace, guys.